Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Greg Todd, and I am the Chief Analyst and owner of GT Marketing and Consulting in Birmingham, Alabama. This is episode 1 of 15-Minute Marketing with GT. So each week I'll be going live to talk about a different aspect of marketing to hopefully help you grow your business and identify your ideal client and reach them more effectively in your market. So I know that we're all busy. We all have tons of things going on, and wanted to find a way to reach and connect with you that maybe could inspire you to do a little bit more with your business online, and some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way to help make things better. And we're only asking for 15 minutes a week out of your busy schedule. So if you don't have 15 minutes a week to work with me and identify what you could be doing to help improve your marketing, then you're too busy, and we'll maybe even have an episode that talks about that. So who am I? And just tell you a little bit about myself if you're just now logging on and figuring that out. I own my own social media marketing and digital strategies company. I help clients in 7 states across the U.S. and do a wide variety of things, helping creative entrepreneurs and small businesses grow their business through digital strategies to build their American dream. So I do everything from manage one social media platform all the way up to an entire social media marketing strategy and all of your marketing plan, from digital, how it plays well with your print marketing, television marketing, radio, just depending on your type of business and where the mediums make sense for you. So that's a little bit about me. How did I get into this crazy world? Well, I went to Samford University, as you see here behind me, representing the alma mater, and have a business management degree with a minor in marketing, and then have done a wide variety of jobs in retail management, and other marketing aspects, creative entrepreneur ideas throughout the past few years. But this business really took off by, like many businesses do, by accident, and that was out of a need for my wife's growing floral design business, and her needing marketing help, and me taking over her social media platforms and quickly realizing that there was a need for other creative entrepreneurs and small businesses to have help. So now I manage social media platforms, and I also coach and provide online training for effective processes and different things to help people be a little bit more efficient with their business, instead of trying to wear all of the hats all at once and do all of the things. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, today we are going to be talking about Instagram stories and their importance in your online marketing. So let me preface this by saying, if you're like me and somewhat of an introvert, or maybe just not the life of the party, center of attention, walk in and the room goes crazy type of person, then you may not enjoy being in front of the camera as your main way to connect with your client. But I'm here to tell you that video is the fastest and most effective way to not only identify your ideal client, but allow a potential client to identify that you are or are not the right fit for them to work with. And although I hear people talk about not wanting to run people off, if your personality on camera prevents somebody from booking you for your service, then they probably weren't a good fit for you in the first place. And so better that they figure that out by watching one of your online videos, or in this case talking about Insta stories, than you to waste all of your time and energy following that lead only to find out that they're not a good ideal client for you. So Insta stories, there's over 300 million people using Instagram stories daily. Let me say that again. 300 million people using Instagram stories daily. If you're not having some kind of presence on Instagram stories, then you're missing a huge opportunity to grow your overall following. More importantly, grow your engagement with that following and the loyalty that comes with the people following your page. or potentially finding your page that wouldn't have found it in the past. Today, since this is just a 15-minute video, please say hello if you're here. Tell me where you're from and where you're watching from, and ask any questions that you may have. I'll do a little question and answer at the end, but I am going to keep it to about 15 minutes to allow you to know that each week you can count on this being a place where you can come and get a quick little nugget of advice and be back on your way and hopefully be encouraged with something in your business. The biggest thing that I hear, I'm not going to talk about all the ins and outs of Instagram stories today as far as how to do it, because I feel like it's been around long enough and there's some tutorials out there. I actually have one on my IGTV, and there's a ton out on Instagram and YouTube that you can go and find. What I'm going to talk about today, most of what I hear when I talk to clients and potential clients, I help with a couple of different mastermind groups, and I'm in a couple of different private Facebook groups. And the biggest question that most people have is, what do I talk about on stories? Like, what kind of content? Nobody's going to want to hear from me. Nobody wants to know what I'm doing. And that's simply not true. There are so many people out there. Hey, Keitha, thanks for joining us. There's so many people out there that want to get to know you better and want to know your personality. And ultimately, that is what Insta Stories are perfect for. It kind of raises the veil a little bit, lets people behind the scenes of your business, and allows you to see what's going on, allows them to get to know you better from that perspective. So today I'm going to give you 5 tips for ways to create some engaging content on Insta Stories. The first is quotes. You can just share posts from people that you follow. If in your feed, if you see a post that you like, you can hit the little kind of looks like a folded piece of paper, a paper airplane. It's an envelope icon, I believe, that you can click on and then share that directly to your story. You can simply hit the add button and that be the end of it, or you can click on that picture before you add it to the story and add your own commentary or quote, or you can tag someone else in it if it's something that really reached out to you. Quotes are a good way just to be present on Insta Stories. It's also a good way just to allow people to kind of see how your mind works. And so it's just a good way to get involved and allow people to see a little bit into who you are and what you're thinking about, a little bit what's on your mind for the day. Number 2, tutorials. This is perfect if you enjoy teaching or talking about processes, efficiencies, how to do things, but you may not necessarily love being right in front of the camera all of the time. Tutorials are a good way that you can actually turn the screen on whatever you're actually creating, whether that be a floral centerpiece if you're a floral designer, or a picture if you're an artist, or maybe even the picture of your computer screen if you're working on something as a small business owner. So it's a great way to just kind of go behind the scenes and talk about the process and how to do it. Maybe you're a baker and you can walk somebody through from step 1 to the finished product of a recipe. It's a perfect example. A lot of people have done this on Etsy or YouTube, but it's a perfect way to do that in a Insta Story environment. Much smaller clips, allows you to do it without having to know exactly what you're going to say and get a pause. And it gives you a natural break in there to kind of recollect your thoughts. Different from what we're doing here with me going live, where you have to keep kind of going and knowing where your next step is. So that's a great way to do it. Number 3 leads into behind the scenes. As I kind of alluded to when we got started, people just want to know your personality. So behind the scenes is a perfect way to let people in to see your personality and what's going on in your world. It is strange to me how many people enjoy seeing what you're doing behind the scenes on a daily basis, whether it's as simple as planning out your to-do list, or your morning cup of coffee at Starbucks, or taking the kids to dance or gymnastics. People love the simplicity of the behind the scenes, getting to know you on a personal level as opposed to just your professional level. It also allows people to connect with you in a way because they see that you are just like them, that you're struggling with the same pressures and stresses that come with running a business as they are. and trying to balance work and home life. So it's a great way to do the behind the scenes. Tip number 4, if you're looking for good content for Instagram stories, is to do an office tour. I've had a lot of people, when I've done videos in the past, talk about all the stuff behind me. I just like having a little setup here in my office. I've got a couple of different places that I do these videos from that's just a reflection of things that inspire me or places that I've been, whether it be the Sanford flag or the Gary V books behind me or the Dr. Pepper that I'm 100% devoted to as my favorite drink. It's all just a little bit of a behind the scenes into my office. You can do an entire video on a day in the life in your office and your setup. So that's a great way to do it. And then the last thing that I want to encourage you, if you are trying to dip your toes in the water, so to speak, and get Instagram stories going, everybody loves a list, whether it be a top 5 list, a top 10 list back in the day with David Letterman, or a how-to processes list. You can actually do that very effectively on Insta stories, whether that be one clip leading into the next, or if you wanted to do it simply with graphics where you're never actually having to have your face on camera, you could use something like Canva or Adobe or Photoshop and actually create some graphics with each one building on the last. Hey there, Jennifer. Thanks for joining us. It's a great way to be effective on Insta Stories without having to be live, a part of your face being out there in front of everybody. So you can take that list and build a story from beginning to end, have the arc and the conclusion that really builds an entire story for your day. You know, the best part about Insta Stories is they're only on there for 24 hours. So if you've got this something you want to try, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't work perfectly. It's only out there for 24 hours as opposed to your actual feed where you have to decide to archive something where it's there forever for someone to see. So again, just the biggest thing is to start. It's to use Instagram stories for your business and be present there and just take one step, getting your toe in the water and getting out there and giving it a try. So just to recap, use quotes, whether those be ones you type in Insta Stories yourself, on Canva, creating a graphic to go with it, or simply by sharing something from your feed of somebody that you enjoy, sharing their post over onto your story. Number 2, use tutorials, how-tos, and direct walkthrough of how to do a process. Number 3, do behind the scenes just of your daily life. Whatever people are following you for, it's a great way to give them a little insight into your personality. Number 4, do an office tour. Show them a day in the life in your office or things that you enjoy or the way you have your office decorated and why. Tell the story, give the why behind what you have laid out and maybe why your office is laid out a certain way to make processes work more efficiently or effectively.